Moving on to the Canberra Times tomorrow, we've also got a bit of Jacinta Allen. She gets to go everywhere tomorrow, but the splash is teens not included in assisted dying plans. The ACT will not make voluntary assisted dying available to teenagers in its upcoming bill, as the work required would be too complex for what they say would be an extremely low uptake. Not that they're worried about teenagers actually accessing it, they're just saying, well, not enough of them would use it anyway, so we may as well not give it to them. It goes on in the story to say that they think it would only be 18 teenagers would access voluntary euthanasia every 50 years. So why bother even giving it to them? Well, if you're going to go down the road of having euthanasia, how can you, if it's a moral argument, right? How can you deny that to teenagers and not everyone else? What are we saying that if you're 22 and you've got terminal cancer, you deserve to have access to euthanasia, but if you're 15 and you have terminal cancer, well, you must suffer? Like, is this a moral argument or not?
And how can you possibly know how many people with a terminal illness are going to be in Canberra and want to make use of this whilst under the age of 18? It is a completely nonsense argument, but I think assisted suicide in and of itself is a nonsense argument because it's always framed in mercy and compassion. And at the end of the day, like you just said, how can you deny that same mercy and compassion to anyone, whether they want to die for any reasons, under any circumstances, at any age? And that's where we've seen other jurisdictions take it, because the mercy argument is a strong one. Let live and let live, although that doesn't really apply.
There is one interesting paragraph in this article which got my attention. The article says, however, so they're not going to allow euthanasia for teenagers. However, the government will review this after the scheme has been in operation for 3 to 5 years. I wonder, Caleb and Liz, if what the ACT government are going to do, let's get euthanasia up and running, let's keep teenagers out of it, because that is going to be a big argument. Let's just get the thing going, and after 3 or 4 years, then we'll do a little bit of review, and now it'll be a reform of euthanasia rather than a hot button issue. I think that's the real agenda here. They'll get it in, they'll just wait a couple of years when everyone's sort of gotten used to the idea, and then they'll slide it through.
Run it up the flagpole and see who salutes.
That's what they're doing.
You could well be right. We were talking about public servants over in the Northern Territory where they're soaking up all the education money. Well, over in Canberra, the federal public servants have said no to a proposed pay deal. CPSU to escalate industrial action over APS pay deal. The Community and Public Sector Union will reject the federal government's service-wide pay offer of 11.2% over 3 years and pursue further industrial action, saying members showed only lukewarm support for the deal. Now, by my calculations, and you know I'm a journalist, so I'm not all that good at maths, I do journo maths, but 11.2% over 3 years is just a jot under 4% a year, which isn't a bad pay rise to get, to be perfectly honest. And the public servants, who we already know are well paid, who get 15 to 16% super, which is far and above what you get in the private sector, they're living in a city that is basically built purely for the existence of public servants. And they're like, no, 11.2%, not good enough. We want more of your taxes. Try selling that to people out there who are battling to get a 2.5% pay rise.
But it was almost 50-50, those that wanted it and those that didn't. The article goes on to explain that they took a poll of more than 15,000 union members, and the split was so close. It was 48.1% rejected the deal, 51.9% supported it. They wanted to take it. So despite the majority of them wanting to take it up, they clearly didn't win, confusingly. So it's not like the whole union was just like, this is a rubbish deal, it's not enough. Quite a few of them were like, actually, that is decent and I would like it.